You are listening to In Conversation with Jennie and Mark.
Well, hello. I am the Reverend Mark Adams from St Margaret's Church, Barking.
And I am the Reverend Jenny Adams from Holy Trinity Church, Prince Consort Road, South Kensington. And welcome everyone to In Conversation with Jenny and Mark.
That's the right one. Yes, here
That's
we
the
are
one.
again, back for another go. More disciples being called today,
Oh,
in a different setting and a different gospel from last week. But
third
looking
Sunday
at
after Epiphany. That's what we're
third
looking at,
Sunday
isn't it?
of Epiphany, after Epiphany, third Sunday. Yeah. Anyway, third Sunday,
Depends if your
Epiphany
prayer
3,
book or
if we want
not.
to be really boring about it. Quite so
We did
poetic.
this.
Epiphany 3.
We did
Anyway,
this
we
last week.
continue
Let's move
with
on.
more revelation, more revelations today. More epiphanies. Had any epiphanies this week, Jenny?
Um, I'm not sure that I have. Don't
Any
ask me too
epiphanies
many
in Epiphany?
questions. We went out
Okay.
last night and I drank a lot of wine.
Okay. Well,
So,
that was an epiphany then. No, it wasn't really an epiphany. You've done that before.
right, let's get on with it.
Okay. Right.
Math,
Yes. Let's crack on. Okay. So we're
Matthew
looking
4,
at
12
Matthew
to
4.
23. Shall I read it?
Go on then. You read it. There it is.
It's not yet, not on mine. There it is. Now, when Jesus heard that John had been arrested, he withdrew to Galilee. He left Nazareth and made his home in Capernaum by the sea, in the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali, so that what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. Land of Zebulun, land of Naphtali, on the road by the sea, across the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sat in darkness have seen a great light, and for those who sat in the region and shadow of death, light has dawned. From that time, Jesus began to proclaim, Repent, for the kingdom of heaven has come near. As he walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, Follow me, and I will make you fish for people. Immediately they left their nets and followed him. As he went from there, he saw two other brothers, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John, in the boat with their father Zebedee, mending their nets. And he called them. Immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. Oh, Jesus went throughout Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and curing every disease and every sickness among the people.
There we are. Yeah. Don't forget verse 23.
Sorry, forgot the last
Well,
line.
it sort of cuts it a little bit in the middle of a paragraph. Anyway, there we are. So,
Mm.
more calling of disciples then. In fact, interestingly, the same disciples that we were reading about last week, but in a slightly
Yes,
different setting. But that's the way it is.
it is the way it is. It's just to confuse us, really.
It's just to confuse us, yeah. Yeah, but yes. So,
So I've taken a
what did we
moment to
mention?
just kind of put it in order, well, order of Matthew's gospel of where we are.
Yeah,
So baptism of Jesus down by the
yeah,
Jordan goes into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights.
yes.
In that time,
Temptations.
John is put
Yes,
in prison.
yes.
Yes. And then we've got now where
Oh,
Jesus has gone up to Galilee, lives in Capernaum, which is a very nice place, um, but overlooking the lake.
okay. So
Um,
choose a nice place to live.
I mean, I suspect it's a nice place now because Jesus lived there, but property prices go up.
Okay, and just before it launches into the Sermon on the Mount, that's where this is set then, yeah,
Yes, yes, and just before that, according to Matthew.
according to Matthew. Well, yeah, we're in Matthew today, so that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
What do
yeah,
you read out
okay.
of that setting then? What's important about that setting for you?
Well, it is right at the beginning, and he has come straight from the wilderness, straight from baptism. So this is kind of the beginning of his ministry. And
Yes.
actually, I think what I've not noticed when I've preached before is that between those, the first thing that happens is he hears that John is in prison. So
Hmm.
it's not a great start, is it? It's
No, no. I suppose
You know,
there's a sort of.
you've done all
Do you
this,
think he
had all
takes that
this
as
testing
his?
time, ready to start. John's in prison. Better go to Galilee then, out
Do
the
you think he
way.
takes that as his cue to get started, though? I mean, I've never, maybe it's kind of like, okay, John's done his bit. He was the forerunner. He was the Elijah that was to come, and now, okay, now he's
Maybe.
been physically
Well,
removed from the scene. Okay, that's time to go. Do
and it
you
needs
think
to
there's an
start in
element of that?
Galilee because that's what Isaiah said. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, and of course, well, that's sort of near home, isn't it? He's going back to the area he knows. He was brought up in Nazareth, so
it's not that
well, you know
close.
the geography better than I do, but it's
Yeah, it's not that close. I mean, it's easier with a coach.
so okay. So John is arrested and withdraws from the scene. Maybe Jesus takes
Mhm.
that as his cue. Maybe he reads that as a sign that he needs to get started. He's moved to Capernaum, and I love the way that Matthew kind of then brings in this passage from Isaiah, doesn't it? Again, if you're thinking about epiphanies and revelation, that's the people who sat in darkness have seen a great light. I mean, it feels kind of Christmassy in a way, doesn't it? Because that's a sort of Christmas passage that we use as well. Though we still are in the season of Christmas, of course.
Yeah,
So,
I loved the fact that you said I love that, and I kind of thought oh, it's always quite frustrating when you have to keep reciting bits of Isaiah in the middle of the story. It's like, yeah. Excuse me. Um, yeah, he's always having to prove things, doesn't he? It's like just say as Isaiah said and just keep moving on. It's not have to keep
well, he
reciting
obviously
one.
wants to make the point that this is a fulfillment of the prophecy and something new is happening. This is the
Yeah,
great
that's
light
true.
that is now, you know, this is the great light that is now dawning. Jesus is starting to act and to.
Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, fair dues, that's what he's writing it for, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's quite difficult to read, I think, reading quotes from the past within the actual thing. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
He's there. He's shouting, well, preaching, repent for the kingdom of heaven is near. Not clear who he's preaching it to, okay, but he's preaching it.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that's sort of overriding? That's true, actually. It's not clear at this point who he's preaching to. He's about to go and call his first disciples, and then he's going to go around teaching in the synagogue. So maybe it's a sort of, and then we're going to go into the Sermon on the Mount. But is that a kind of overarching kind of message then? This is a sort of
Oh, you see,
introduction.
I'd got him on a soapbox in the marketplace.
Well, I mean, that might also be true. I mean, yeah, yeah, I'd never really thought about that before. Who is he preaching to at this point? But he's getting started, isn't he? And um, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, he hasn't got even the first disciples. It's very clear these are the first disciples, isn't it? Um,
yeah.
okay.
So goes to find
Wanders
some
along,
fishermen. Wanders along by the
sees
lake.
some fishermen, says, follow me. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, and they do. Immediately they follow him. I mean, it always strikes me that something must have been, what what was it that they saw in Jesus that made them do that? That they left their nets and off they went and followed him and changed their lives straight away, just like that.
So I have preached on this before, obviously, and did dig it out. And I realised that I've told a really quite a long story, so I can't tell it here, I don't think, unless I can cut it down. Um, about how I had gathered some people and told them to follow me and then led them into a lot of trouble. So it's not always wise to just follow people without question.
This is something that actually happened that you got these people to follow you.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was a girl guide. I went to international camp. I'll try and cut it down. We were having a really terrible time, but we knew there was a disco on the last night. But we weren't allowed to go to the disco. And
Right.
everybody was making a lot of fuss about this, and I wasn't. And they said to me, why? And I went, well, because I'm going to go. And we all went to bed as we're meant to be. And then we climbed out the back of the tent, and I said, follow me.
Shocking.
And we found the
Shocking.
disco, and we had a great time. And then I gathered up all the people that I had taken because I'm good like that. I'm a great friend. And I discovered that it was much easier to find a disco from a tent than to find a tent in international guide camp coming back. Because you know how good my sense of direction is.
Yeah, your direction isn't brilliant. It's true. So you hadn't
So
thought
having
through
led
this.
them,
So you hadn't thought this through at this point. So very briefly, so what happened? Did you
we
get
got
caught?
back and they were sat waiting for us, and then we all got sent home in disgrace.
Uh, So, okay, well, that's a useful parallel in some ways, but what's the message that you're taking from that into Jesus calling the first disciples?
Okay, so what I have previously done, I won't probably won't do it this week, is we can often kind of go just follow blindly. We can take this passage and just follow with no questions are doubt, doubts. Whereas I was saying that like it's good to question. You shouldn't just follow. You should ask some questions, and that's okay. Jesus wants us to. Don't misread the passage, I suppose, is where I was going with it. Um, because it very much is like, I don't know. Because it's so simple, I
Hmm,
think there are dangers that we're
okay.
just expected to not have any questions. Just follow Jesus, just follow.
Okay, but it's interesting, you can't really get that from the passage though, can you? You're getting that from somewhere else.
Yeah, yeah, I am getting that from somewhere else. I mean, the passage does say just follow, but I mean,
Yeah.
I think there are some dangers in just preaching that and preaching that.
Okay. Interesting take. But there is, I love the way you choose to disagree with Jesus, but there is a
No,
simplicity about it, though.
no. He said, "Come and follow me." He didn't say, "Come and follow me." No questions asked or whatever. I think we can, and they do ask questions in later life.
Yeah, of course they do. That's true. They do.
But I think this is something that, people can read this and kind of go and feel guilty. I think.
Right. Yeah,
Mm,
and they go through doubts and struggles and through the journey,
mm,
don't they? But there is something, I guess, about the simplicity of the call, which is also worth holding on to.
yeah, go on
What
then.
does it mean to, we're
Expand.
not, sorry?
Expand. Mm.
Well, I think you're right to put the kind of alternative view, or not alternative view necessarily, but that slant on it that, it's an ongoing process and we're going to have questions and we're going to go on a journey and it's going to be tough sometimes and we're going to wonder whether we've done the right thing. But on the other hand, there is something good to look back to that simplicity of call that says, follow me. Okay, yes, Jesus, I'm going to follow you without not sort of saying that you don't have those other things going on, but that there's something important about, yeah, okay, you said follow, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow, I'm going to commit my life to you and I'm going to follow you.
Mm. Okay.
You're not impressed. You got quiet. I know it's getting quiet. It's like, well, okay, I'm not.
Um, it reminds me too much of altar calls, and I find them uncomfortable.
Okay,
I think that's what it is.
right. But okay, again, that's reading something into the passages, isn't there?
No, but it still taps into something that I and lots of people will have experienced.
Yes, I've experienced that too. I even have responded to one or two on occasions.
Um, yes, and it's sounded simple, and it isn't simple. So the call
Well,
itself is simple, but the
the
actual
call itself
action
is
isn't
simple.
simple, is it? And we
No,
can simplify what he's actually asking of us there.
the task of following Jesus will turn your life upside down. That's true.
Yeah.
Um, it
I
will.
think I would focus more on the fact that they have left everything to follow him. I think I wouldn't focus on the simplicity of the call, but more of how much it has cost them to follow him. And other people. This costs Zebedee quite a bit as well.
Okay, so what are you going to take out? What's the message from that then?
It is
That it is
costly.
going to
It is
cost you.
sacrificial. It takes, as you say, it turns your life upside down.
Okay, but I still think there's a tension in there which is interesting to explore between the simplicity of the call, what it's going to cost you.
Hmm.
What are you going to gain from it though? What do they gain from following Jesus?
They don't have to mend any more nets. I mean, that sounds a rubbish job, doesn't it? Going through your nets, looking where the hole is. They find a purpose, don't they? But also, they find a purpose in life. Um, they know they're loved. They know that, they find something a greater love. But then they all die. So, the reality is it is quite ghastly.
Okay. Perhaps this wasn't the best morning to do this recording. I don't know. I was going to try and link it something positively back into the first part of the passage that you could say that, they are the people who are walking in darkness and now they've seen the light of Jesus and they followed him and they
Yes,
found
that would
meaning
be
and purpose.
better.
Yeah, okay, let's try. Not sure we've saved it there, but anyway, we'll give it a go.
That would be a much better take on it. You're all going to die.
Well, and then hopefully there's going to be something more. It also seems to be supposed to be part, I think, of what we're supposed to be believing here and signing up for. But yeah, okay. So here we've got an enacting of what Matthew has drawn out of the prophecy from Isaiah, isn't it? This is the people who are walking in darkness. They've seen a great light and they've followed him. The light has dawned on them and they have repented and followed Jesus because the kingdom of heaven is coming near. So is it a kind of working out of what's going on in the first part of the passage?
It is. Let's go with that. Let's go
Let's
with
go with
that.
that.
Try and wrap it up.
Well, only just to
Summarize it.
say, really, I suppose that, this is then I mean, it's one of those frustrating things because we're sort of dropping into different parts of in Epiphany. We've dropped into the same kind of cool story last week in John, similar cool story this week in Matthew. Next week, we're going to go back to the wedding at Cana, I think. So, you're right in, I think, to put this in the context. It's going to go on to the Sermon on the Mount. That's where this is going. The commentary that I did a bit of reading on said that Matthew was also trying to really highlight here the importance of Jesus' teaching. And particularly in the last section, Jesus went throughout the Galilee teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom and curing every disease and every sickness. But that the teaching is
Okay.
really, for Matthew, what is most important. And he's gathered these disciples so that he's going to, he's going to be able to have them to teach in the Sermon on the Mount. And that's what we really need to look at if you're, that's what really Matthew wants to emphasize. But we
Yeah.
can't really get into any more of that because we're going to go off and do the wedding at Cana and it's going to be Lent and we'll drop back into it.
Okay. All right. Well, worth knowing. Okay.
But worth knowing. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So
summarizing?
I think there's something in the fact that the call to follow Jesus is both simple and life-changing. And that there's a tension between those two things. And it's good to hold on to the clarity and simplicity of the call in the messiness and struggle of working out in our lives.
Which is far more positive than following Jesus will turn your life upside down. You'll die eventually, but it'll be worth it in the end.
We're all going to die eventually. On that note,
We'll be back next week with some cheeriness.
Maybe Jenny will feel a little bit more positive about everything next week, or maybe not. Who knows? Thank you for listening if you've got this far. We'll be
Take
back
care.
next week.
Have a good week, everyone.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to In Conversation with Jennie and Mark. Please subscribe for more episodes on all the usual podcast platforms.